Lamont Roach shocks the world and shows everyone that Tank Davis is defeatable. And we got to talk about that right now because the boxing world is shook up and upside down. This is Serious Grind Boxing, where we're dedicated to the grind and dedicated to you. That's why we do what we do. All right, let's talk about Lamont Roach and Gervonta Tank Davis, because it was supposed to be a routine mismatch. We saw a highlight reel of Gervonta Tank Davis, but what we witnessed was a super upset and a reality check and a humbling moment for the so-called face of boxing. And let's be real, Gervonta Tank Davis, his aura of invincibility took a major hit. I'm going to do a couple of other videos about this stuff, but man, I tell you, shockwaves have been sent through the boxing world, and reality is setting in right now, because leading up to the fight, there was not a lot of hype for this fight. It was barely even a ripple through the boxing world. Now, Gervonta Tank Davis, he's supposed to be the biggest star in the sport, and somehow he generated less buzz than the UK press conference with Ben and Eubank. You know, egg on the face. I got a video for that. I got to drop that. Now, you should check the other video that I was talking about Chris Eubank and Conor Ben. You know, that didn't get a lot of views, but man, I told everyone that was going to be greatness, and look what happened. But anyway, because look, this was supposed to be the mega fight. This was supposed to be big guys, super giants, elite competition in their own division, right? Fighting each other. But what did we get? Instead of a mega fight with the best of the best, we got a champion from a weight class below Tank's weight class. Yes, you heard that right. Lamont Roach is a champion at 130 pounds, and he moved up. Now, in hindsight, for Gervonta Tank Davis, this was the worst gamble he could have made in his career. Now, a lot of people did not know who Lamont Roach was before Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, of course, if you are a real boxing fan and you just really love the sport like that, then you knew that Lamont Roach was a solid fighter. But so many different people were saying that he was a nobody and that he was going to get destroyed by Tank. But what happened? The exact opposite. You got what I'm saying? He made Tank Davis take a knee during the fight. Yes, you heard that right. So look, round one went on, and we saw a classic Gervonta Tank Davis. You know, he was downloading data. You know, he letting Lamont Roach move around, and it was seeming like he was biding his time, because usually Tank's opponents, they come out swinging. They trying to, just destroy him in the early rounds. But inevitably, their lights get turned out. But Lamont Roach Jr. flipped the script. And instead of falling for the trap of Tank, of letting you feel like you just doing so much and you're doing so good, he used Tank's game plan against him. And by round 6, Lamont Roach Jr. started opening up on Gervonta Tank Davis, and Gervonta Tank Davis was throwing power shots and body shots, and guess who was eating those body shots up like they were Pac-Man? Lamont Roach Jr. He was eating them like they were Thanksgiving leftovers. You understand what I'm saying? So now we pushed on to round 8, right? Lamont Roach Jr. caught Gervonta Tank Davis with a clean shot, and Gervonta Tank Davis wobbled. I was like, what? I was jumping up and down like, oh my God, because I could not believe that I just saw Gervonta Tank Davis, the boogeyman, the face of the division, get rocked from a guy from a lower weight class. And then comes the moment of madness, and I'm like, what in the world? Tank is under fire right now because Tank had to take a knee, and everybody is talking about this knee that he did. They said, what? Tank did the Colin Kaepernick? Oh my God, we cannot believe it. You got what I'm saying? We just could not believe it. I just was like, what in the world? He took a knee in the middle of a boxing mat. You understand what I'm saying? I'm like, what in the world? So his corner rushed in, wiped his face. The referee was counting, stopped the counting, and just rolled on with it like nothing just happened. I'm like, what in the world? What did I just see? What did I just see? Look, the last time I checked, this ain't like the NBA. There ain't no timeout in boxing. You can't take a knee. If you take a knee, it's a knockdown. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear nothing. Point blank, period. If you take a knee, then guess what? It's a knockdown. The referee's supposed to start counting. Now, what I don't understand is why this referee starts counting and then he magically stops the count. It's like, what in the world? So it seems as if the rules of boxing do not apply to some individuals. I don't understand how the officials did not rule that a knockdown, or why somebody didn't pop in when the guy stopped his count. Why wasn't they saying, 4, 5? Why wasn't they counting outside of the ring? Because inside of the ring, there's a referee that counts. And there's outside the ring, you have a count man. And that count man is supposed to be counting too, so that the referee is doing what he's supposed to do. It's a checks and balance system. So I'm not understanding why the count man on the outside of the ring wasn't counting. And I'm not understanding why the referee on the end, I think his name was Steve Willis. I'm not understanding why he stopped the count. I am not understanding it. But anyway, they pushed out to a majority draw. Of course, that basically says that, hey, something was wrong. We need to look at this fight right here, man, because most people, including myself, had Lamont Roach Jr. winning. He landed the cleanest shots. He was dictating the pace, and he survived the power of Tank Davis, which that's a major accomplishment. We have not seen many we only seen Pitbull go to distance with Gervonta Tank Davis, and Pitbull got totally outboxed. It was levels. Tank was levels above Pitbull Cruz, and he completely outboxed him. So I'm not understanding what in the world I just saw. I just saw an individual get right at the top of getting recognized, and then the boxing world took his recognition away. Lamont Roach Jr., like I said, landed the better shots. He was dictating the pace. I saw Tank knees wobbling, and I had never seen his knees wobble. His power was just not there. Lamont Roach was eating those shots. So I'm just like, what in the world is really going on? Lamont Roach, in my opinion, outweighed. He just won the fight. You know what I'm saying? Instead, we got a majority draw, and that was not the right decision. The judges did not get it right. The referee did not get it right. I'm just not understanding what in the world. But I tell you this, man, look, this is the business of boxing, so I understand, why they are cooking the books. But look, man, that home seasoning just really disappointed me. You feel what I'm saying? But anyway, where in the world do they go? And once again, I'm going to do some other videos about this. I got so many thoughts, and I'm just like, man, what in the world is going on? In my opinion, for Lamont Roach Jr., this was a career-defining moment. He has so many options. You know what I'm saying? He could fight Shakur Stevenson, maybe return to his natural division to defend his title, because a lot of people acting like he wasn't a champion. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what in the world are you even tracking boxing? But anyway, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what in the world the future is holding for Tank. You know what I'm saying? He got to ask himself some very difficult questions, because this is what I want you to think about. Was his coaching an issue? Was it a lack of discipline? Did he just overlook Lamont Roach Jr.? You know what I'm saying? I just don't know. You know what I'm saying? But what I do know is everyone had this aura of invincibility as it applied to Tank. And right now that invincibility aura has crumbled. You got what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, the criticisms of Tank has been that for so many years, he's been dodging the biggest threats and kind of handpicking his opponents, and they were saying, hey, eventually it was going to backfire, because I was telling people I thought that Devin Haney could outbox Tank Davis. I said Shakur Stevenson might be able to outbox Tank Davis. Everybody in the Facebook group, if you don't know, we got a Serious Grind box in the Facebook group, but everybody was saying that I was stupid. They were saying that I'm dumb, that I don't know boxing. I'm like, look, man, I'm just a casual boxing fan. I'm just telling you what I'm looking at with my own eyes. I can just see the styles of people. You got what I'm saying? But anyway, people were saying, oh man, you crazy. But now we see this right here, and now people may not be like, you're crazy. Probably not gonna say I'm crazy anymore. You got what I'm saying? Like I said, if you're handpicking opponents, because you can do that, eventually it might backfire. And then when you do what Teddy Atlas said, is walk through that adversity and walk through that ring or that circle of fire, how do you emerge out of that circle of fire? Because once you get challenged, what do? Do you take a knee? Because it seemed as if when Gervonta Tank Davis had adversity in that round, he took a knee. And then, now, last time I checked, I thought the only individual that could stop the action in a fight was the referee. That's what I thought. You cannot after taking punches, you cannot just take a knee, run over to your corner, get your face wiped off. What in the world? I thought that would be like disqualification level. You got what I'm saying? Like, look, I am a casual boxing fan. I've read the rules of boxing. I've been watching boxing for a long time, but I am no boxing expert. So please, if you are a boxing expert, please let me know. Is the referee the only individual that can break the action during a boxing exhibition or a professional match? Let me know in the comment section, because I am very confused. I also thought you didn't have authorization as a boxer to run to your corner or even run to a neutral corner and do anything. You can't get your face wiped off. You can't pick up your mouthpiece and put it in your own mouth, and you can't do none of this stuff. You just don't have the power. The only person that has the power in the ring is the referee. Am I tripping? Is this just me? I'm telling you, man, this is embarrassing for the sport of boxing. I don't know, man. I'm telling you, man. It's just, anyway, I think that Gervonta Tank Davis needs to really take a moment. The social media world is really, they are really punching Gervonta Tank Davis and praising Lamont Roach Jr. Gervonta Tank Davis, before the fight, was talking about retirement. I did a video on that, so check it. Now, he was already talking about retirement. We know that he had a lot of turbulence in his childhood. He's been fighting all of his life. This guy's like 31 years old. He's been fighting since he was like 6 years old, and then he's fighting at the highest level, the elite level. He has all the criticism from the whole world. He lives in a time where you can't even have one bad performance because social media be like, oh, you got exposed, or you're trash, or you're this, you're that. He has issues that he needs to work out, and he has already articulated that he needs to work on those issues. He's already said this. So I'm not understanding. He just needs to take a break from boxing, and then he needs to reassess. Man, forget trying to get, oh, I got to get my get back, because we saw him in the post-fight saying, oh, man, because I had this type of performance, I definitely want to get back in the gym. Well, guess what, Gervonta Tank Davis? Right now might not be the time for you to get back in the gym. You was just talking about retirement before you fought Lamont Roach Jr. Lamont Roach Jr. moved up from 130 pounds, where he's the champion, and fought at 135 pounds. And he fought the champion, Gervonta Tank Davis. In my opinion, he won and took the championship title from at 135 pounds. So right now, Lamont Roach Jr. should be a champion at 130 pounds and 135 pounds, and that is not debatable. I don't want to hear nothing about it. Now, I do understand that the history book is the history book. It has already been written that it's a majority draw. I understand that, but I do know that Lamont Roach Jr., his stock has really risen, and the stock of Tank Davis is still where it's at. Do you understand what I'm saying? It does not make Tank less just because he wasn't able to do what he was supposed to do to Lamont Roach Jr. It just speaks volumes as to the skill, the talent, and the power of Lamont Roach Jr. His determination, his motivation, his willingness to just excel and just seize the moment. He showed the world that he is a beast, because boxing is just like life, man. Don't nobody give about no hype. You know what I'm saying? You can talk the biggest game. You can have the flashiest knockouts. You can fill arenas. But at the end of the day, the ring tells the truth. Now, Tank, in my opinion, he got a wake-up call. That's right. So now he has a choice. He got to decide what he wants to do. Either he's going to learn from this moment with Lamont Roach Jr. and come back stronger, or he's going to avoid fighting the top level competition until the fans stop caring about him. You understand? So the lesson is never underestimate the underdog, because Lamont Roach Jr. showed up and he showed out. And just because the world counts you out, you got what I'm saying? Just because the world writes you off, just because the world expects you to fall and expects you to fail, it's up to you to show up and prove them all wrong. And if you think this is just about Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach Jr., you wrong. I'm talking about you in your life. Just because somebody don't believe in you, you don't need them to believe in you. You got to believe in yourself. And that's what Lamont Roach Jr. did. And he showed the whole world that he was a problem that people just weren't looking for. You got what I'm saying? So what did you think of the fight? You know what I'm saying? Do you think that Lamont Roach Jr. got robbed? Do you think that Tank needs to run it back? Do you think that Gervonta Tank Davis needs to retire? Hey, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Look, man, I'm getting ready to get out of here. This is serious grind boxing. I'm always on the grind. I'll talk to you.